Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So listeners have been really interested in the whole issue of loneliness, and
Yeah, it is a big one.
it is.
Yeah.
And we've got this message actually, kind of a fascinating glimpse into how the world's tackling this in 2025.
Oh,
Yeah, it's called Happy New Year 2025.txt.
okay.
And get this, it's addressed to the quote LPot community, end quote.
Interesting.
I know. Not sure what LPot is, but I'm definitely curious now.
Yeah, makes you wonder.
So right off the bat, something that jumps out from this message is this emphasis on actually measuring loneliness.
Yeah, that's key, isn't it?
It is. And they specifically mentioned the UCLA loneliness scale and
Oh, then the de Jong-Gierveld scale, right?
the de Jong-Gierveld scale. Yes, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that one's interesting.
So I'm thinking, are these scales like more than just, feeling kind of lonely versus totally isolated? Like, what do they actually tell us?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's about getting more specific, more nuanced. The de Jong-Gierveld scale, for example.
Yeah.
It actually breaks loneliness down further, looks at emotional loneliness, social loneliness, so you get a much clearer picture of what's going on.
Okay, fascinating. So it's not just like a one-size-fits-all lonely label.
Mm-hmm.
There are
There are layers to it.
layers to it. And I guess if you can actually measure it like this.
And you can start to track it, right? Study it, see how it changes over time.
Exactly. You can't fix what you can't measure, as
Yeah.
they say.
Very true.
And it's really encouraging to see that it's not just, researchers who are paying attention to this whole loneliness thing.
Right.
This message talks about governments eventually starting to take this seriously, too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we're actually seeing that happen already.
Yeah.
The UK, they actually have a minister for loneliness.
What? No.
Yeah. The position was created a few years ago, and it's a pretty strong signal that they're committed to addressing this at a national level.
Wow. A whole minister just for loneliness.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a level of recognition you don't see every day.
Right.
Okay, so the message also mentions these community building projects.
Yeah.
Any idea what those might look like in 2025?
Well, the message doesn't get into a ton of specifics, but it seems like the focus is really on fostering that sense of belonging,
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? I mean, that's key to combating loneliness, feeling like you're part of something.
Connected. Okay. But here's where it gets, like, super interesting.
Oh.
The message mentions using technology to actually identify loneliness trends.
Yeah, that's a growing field, really fascinating stuff.
Wait, so we can actually spot loneliness using, like, computers and algorithms and stuff?
Mhm.
How does that even work?
Well, think about it. We leave digital footprints everywhere these days, right?
Oh, yeah.
So imagine, an AI analyzing your social media posts. It notices that you're mostly sharing, like, melancholy songs late at night, and you haven't interacted with any of your friends' posts in weeks.
Ooh. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Right. So that could be a flag, a sign of potential isolation. And AI can do this on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Analyze patterns in our online interactions, the content we're consuming, even the times we're active online. It's all data that can give us incredible insights.
That's mind-blowing.
It is. It really is. It's like a whole new way of understanding human behavior.
So it seems like we're finally starting to understand and address loneliness in a totally new way, like using all these different tools and approaches.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
And this message from the LPot community, it seems to paint a pretty hopeful picture of the future, wouldn't you say?
I think so, yeah. I mean, obviously, loneliness is still a major challenge, and it's not going to disappear overnight. But these developments, they definitely suggest a positive shift. More awareness, more action, and the tone of the message is definitely optimistic, offering hope, pointing to 2025 as, maybe a turning point.
A turning point. Well, that's something to look forward to, for sure. It really is amazing to see this fight against loneliness gaining so much momentum, all these tools for understanding it, government initiatives, tech advancements. It's really incredible.
It is.
But, this LPot community, it's still a total mystery to me.
Yeah.
What do you think LPot could be? Like a support group, an app, a research project, something else entirely?
That's a great question. Really highlights how much things are changing, how many different ways we're approaching these challenges now.
Definitely gives us all something to think about.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into loneliness, everyone. It's clear this is just the beginning of the journey, and we encourage you to keep exploring this based on what we've talked about today.
Yeah, keep learning, keep the conversation going.
Exactly. And we'll see you on the next deep dive.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.